Yo guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're not already subscribed to Off the Campus Boxing, like the video, do all that amazing stuff. Friday night we have the Fighting Talk Show. Okay, the Fighting Talk Show. I'm excited for it today. Listen, I'm pumped, man. I'm pumped. We've got a whole heap of things to talk about today. First and foremost, we are going to talk about the Chris Eubank Jr. versus Liam Williams. Okay. First of all, we're going to be talking about who I think is going to win, how I see that fight going, a little bit of the pros and cons between both fighters, etc., etc., etc. Okay. Also, we are going to talk about my man, Mr. Anthony Joshua. Okay. Unfortunately, AJ today has come, or in the last sort of couple of days, he's, how would I describe it? He's showing a little bit of just mental weaknesses, okay, which I think that might need to be nipped in the bud. You know, I'm an AJ fan, first and foremost, so like I want AJ to spin Usyk's jaw. So anything I'm saying is just out of love and not out of any sort of hatred to AJ or anything like that, okay? Because this channel is all about positivity, etc. Okay, boom. Another thing we're going to be talking about is, unfortunately, this is an unfortunate circumstance. We're going to be talking about, oh, not that one, wrong one. We're going to be talking a little bit about this gentleman, Teofimo Lopez. Okay, he's made some alarming comments this week, and I was going to touch upon this. Okay, so that one's a little bit of a more, how do I say it, a techie circumstance. So, but yeah, we're going to be talking about that one. Also, we're going to be talking about this fight in particular, what's holding it up, any obstacles that may occur, anything like that. We're going to just give you a little brief update towards the end. Okay. So big up every single person already here. Osborne, shout out Osborne. See, I've got the new banner. So if it, like once I click on it, yeah, it's like super bold. Because I know before, like it was all over the place. Also, as well, guys, yeah, a little bit of an update on last week's stream. On last week's stream, it was proper mashup, guys. Yeah, if you guys were there, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I was there all night thinking, what is going on with this stream? Like, what's going on? So I was very, very confused. I was very baffed. I didn't know what was like. I didn't know why it was lagging. I was just baffed. Yeah. Turns out, and trust me, this was a lot of trial and error. So I was thinking like maybe it's maybe it's the internet. Yeah. Maybe it's like because we live in a big house. You know the way there. Maybe it's the internet. Nah, but the internet was working when I'm at work. What's going on? All right, cool. Maybe it's, I don't know. Maybe it's like I'm connected. Maybe it's OBS. Maybe like the sort of platform I'm using is flopping it. Nah, clock's out. Yeah, my Ethernet adapter was broken. This whole time I didn't even notice it was broken. And I'm like, once I clocked it was broken, yeah, bro, I smashed that thing to. Listen, I ripped it like from its neck. Sorry, I don't condone violence unless it's in a controlled environment like the boxing ring. But I ripped it to pieces and I stamped it out. I was like, Rafam, you caused me big trouble. Like for the last couple of weeks, I was racking my brain, and it was you. Yeah. Anyway, should be all good. If there's any sort of like cut off, it's very, very minimal. So we should be all good. Ethernet adapter, back up and running. Everything should be all good. Big up Untraceable done as well. Dillian is going to agree, and Dillian isn't going to agree until he knows he can't get more for the fight. We're going to be talking about that one in particular. Definitely, I agree. Fury doesn't want Dillian talking crud to him again. Yo, I have a theory for this one, but we'll talk about it in a bit. Actually, you know what? I'm going to let you lot decide. Yeah. All of the topics. Which ones do you want me to address first? The EUBANK Williams fight, the Dillian scenario, or anything else with regards to what I was talking about, the Teofimo Lopez one. And we might get the Teofimo Lopez one, to be fair, first before we get started, just to touch base. But if you have any pressing words, he said, you know what, OTC want you to chat about this one first, yeah? Put it in the comment section below, and then it should be all good, okay? But before we get into sort of the main topics, this one's a little bit of a yeah, Teofimo first, yeah, because it's a touchy subject with Teofimo Lopez. For those of you guys who are sort of new to boxing, etc., or casual fans, or whichever one it is, Teofimo Lopez, Leo, a lightweight boxer. He's trained by his father. So, okay, so him and his father trained together. They're very close to their family, and up until a couple of years ago, literally on my birthday as well. On my birthday, Teofimo Lopez beat Vasily Lomachenko, which was considered one of the top 2 or top 3 pound for pound boxers in the world. Okay, one of the best boxers in his weight class, and he ends up beating him. Okay, against all odds. He was then top of the world. Everything's fantastic. Everything's hunky dory. Like, he's the man. Like, he's talking about Josh Taylor at 140, which is the weight class above. He's talking about unification bouts and potential big money fights in this place and with this opponent, and it was proper gas, man. It's proper exciting. Anyway, fast forward a year later, he then comes up against or he then is actually scheduled, because bearing in mind he went to Perspid and he got delayed and he got pushed back left, right, and center. Okay, so he was supposed to be fighting his mandatory challenger in George Kambosos Jr., an Australian lightweight contender who was coming up the rank. Okay, but that one got scheduled, pushed back. Triller had the card, which is a big company, entertainment company. Then Triller pulled out. Matchroom had the card, and it was delayed by an extra 6 months of boxing. Okay. Afterwards, okay, he comes into the fight, and he just goes gung ho. Round 1, ends up pretty much getting hit on the counter punch, dropped to the floor. I don't know whether it was poor tactics. I don't know whether he just had a rush of blood to his head. I'm not sure what happened, but he just like went for it. He started boxing kind of unorthodox, ended up losing to Teofimo Lopez. This week he done a which kind of, do you know what? When you lose in boxing, and this is one thing a lot of people need to take into account. When you lose in boxing, it's like it's considered pretty much the end of the world, because the way how the boxing world is structured to the point where, in order to get to the top, you can get to pretty much most of the distance by fighting absolute nobodies. When you get too close towards the top, you may fight 1 or 2 decent level opponents, and then you get a world title shot. Now, in the pursuit of all of that, if you end up losing because of the boxing politics, people don't want to fight you. You're not desirable anymore. It's a bit like how, and I don't want to don't want to draw parallels, but if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. In certain communities, okay, people who are divorced from their previous marriage aren't considered desirable as somebody who's never been married to begin with, if that makes sense. Okay. I hope you guys know what I'm talking about. And it's like that in boxing. If you end up losing, it's just the end of the world, because everybody's here to protect their own. And mentally it kind of messes up with your head, especially with regards to boxing, where 90, pretty much most of boxing is mental, and very a small part of it is actually physical. For the most part, it's actually mental. See, like AJ with against Usyk, if you could be in the best physical condition, you can, in terms of statistics, you can run up a mile, you can do all of you can do all of the physical challenges. If you're in the gym, 12 rounds sparring, 30 rounds sparring, if you want to do that, and you can feel fine. But on the night, if you're mentally just not there in sport, you could just get found out, especially in boxing, and you can get really hurt. And of course, a couple of, that fight was what, 3 months ago, 3 4 months ago, and a lot of probably things in his life happened to the detriment. And this week he's released some, sad post where he says, "Man, my family doesn't deserve me. I deserve better. Too bad that better is only in heaven." You know, I wish I could leave from Earth and never come back. And when it comes to stuff like this, especially in sport, it's easier said than done. The suicide rate is phenomenal in terms of like how high it is. It's way too high. It's way too high because it's 1 minute you're talking a town, Jack the Lad. Next minute you're just seen as a failure, and how you process a loss is very, very, very important. How you internalize a loss. To be fair, not even internalize a loss. How on the come up, how do you, like, where is your motivation from? Is it within other people, or is it within yourself? If it's if it's coming from a place from within, then even win, lose or draw, you will still be in that same level mindset. Same level mindset. But if it's within other people, if it's within the public, as soon as the public turn against you, you turn against you, because that's where you're putting your self value in with other people. And first and foremost, I have to always say this: like, mental health is no serious joke, man. It's no serious joke. It's a very real thing, and it's not really considered a real, how do I, not an excuse, but like a real thing to talk about in boxing. Because boxing, the average age of a fan is a lot higher than us, maybe even some other sports. Mental health isn't considered like any factor within boxing. I'll give you a prime example where people are talking about Ryan Garcia. They're like, yeah, but like, is it really mental health? It's very questioned in boxing. When people are talking about Tyson Fury, it's questioned a lot. Like, did he really go through that, etc. Now, based on what they do outside of, like, within the ring, and that people can form opinions through that way. It's a very serious thing. Suicide rates in men is extremely high. When it comes to young men as well, he's around the same age as me in terms of 24 years old. It's not. You need to speak to someone. You need to speak to someone. And do you know what saddened me as well? Do you know what the saddest part of it all was? Is that I, in terms of, man, my family don't deserve me. I deserve better. Too bad that better is only in heaven. It means that in terms of people who haven't suffered from it, because I have definitely suffered from very similar stuff, very similar stuff. So this one, it's a little bit more closer to home. When I was in the most darkest of spaces, this kind of stuff was very normal. This was kind of stuff I was repeating in my head. Raw, like, no, like, I'm worthless, I'm useless, etc. And it's not, first of all, it's not what other people say about you, it's what you say about you in your own company. How do you talk to yourself behind closed doors when nobody's there? Do you talk to yourself in a nice way? How would you like to talk to yourself? Okay. If you're struggling with any of this, speak to somebody. Speak to somebody. And I know when to get to this point, you would have to probably bottle up a lot. but you might have to gain that courage to speak to that person that you feel most comfortable in speaking to. And if any of you guys are struggling, I would definitely recommend in speak like if you're on the brink, definitely call some sort of helpline that will definitely assist me. Like I wish I could. It's annoying because I just forgot to put it into the link in the description box below. But shortly after this, I'm gonna put it in the link in the description box below, and definitely do that. If you don't feel comfortable with do that, you feel comfortable speaking to me directly, message me. I'm always open for all that kind of stuff because we don't want um the next sort of Caroline Flack or Gary Speed or any individual who are in the public eye to just feel worthless and just take it out on themselves. So um that's my sort of message in regards to Teofimo Lopez. If I had to give any advice to Teofimo Lopez, having like myself, when I was going through all my problems of what 20 like what winter time 2020 or around autumn time, like I was having some of the most like craziest of thoughts. And I'm telling you, I spoke to somebody, like I always call him the god, my guardian angel. I spoken to him, and bruv, it's like the weight of the world is lifted off my shoulders. The weight, it's like everything around was just off my shoulders. So, um, and just everything afterwards, like it completely changed. That's when I started doing more videos on OTC. Like that's when, I think that's what I think before. I think we started the first couple of videos shortly afterwards, and it's just ever since then I just always try to be as positive as possibly can because when you because things can spiral out of control. So gratitude is also very key as well for that. Like, what are you grateful for? If you don't show gratitude in your life, um, it's not good. Always have gratitude. Always thank God. Like, and some that you might not want to be in terms of a lot of like TV believers might not want to be taking a loss, but you know, you are former unified heavyweight champion of the world. Like not heavyweight, sorry, unified champion of the world. So um just be grateful for the little things that you have in your life as well as someone who's in the public eye, etc. And you have access to a lot of people to speak to, man. So reach out to someone to speak to. And hopefully that would help. Some people are blaming the dad. It's not the dad, man. It's not anybody. It all comes from within. It all comes from how you speak to yourself. I'm telling you. That's it all boils down to that. That's with regards to my whole talk on Teofimo Lopez. Read a couple of your comments. Big up for all of you guys that's short as well. Camache is far better coach than his dad. Do you know what? That may be the case. Maybe he needs a different environment in terms of he needs to separate coach and life to home life. And something that I mentioned on the Undefeated podcast. Subscribe to them all the time. I always pick them up, okay, because they helped in terms of just helping growing out the platform or just building confidence, etc. So big them up. But when it comes to, and I said this to Travis, and I said, not every child can be homeschooled. Some child need to go to a separate teacher, a separate professor, and perhaps this is what Teofimo Lopez needs. Okay, a separate entity from his family, and unless unless um your family are like your father's, I don't know, Sugar Ray, not Sugar Ray Leonard, but Sugar Hill or Emmanuel Stewart or somebody who's been training before you even born. I would always recommend potentially going to a separate trainer. You'd have your father around all the time, but go to a separate trainer. That would be some. Bill Haney looks after Devin Haney a lot, but Ben Davison is the one who gives the technical training, and that's very important as well. Um, I just saw an interview with Joey Camacho. He said that there wasn't any rivalry between him and Senior or Tio. He said that because Matchroom won the purse bid, he wouldn't be paid for his services again. very similar circumstance with Dillian White as well. Yeah, do you know what? Big up, what's his name? Joey Gamache as well. Big up Joey Gamache. Love for that, bro. We need to support each other, man. Hope Tio's got somebody there for him and supported him. Once you're in that position, once you're in that position, I'm telling you, if you if you look for it, you will find it. If you look for it, you will find it. It's very simple. Like once you're a pro athlete at the highest level, it can be a lonely place, but the resources that you have are more than the average person. Are way more than the average person. So you can find that. I wouldn't recommend speaking to somebody like a that's not a professional, because like, or maybe if you're not speaking to someone who's not professional, then it has to be somebody who's really old. Like the person who I spoke to, man, the guy the guy had a grey beard here and dreadlocks. How, like like he's been through life. And even though he's professional, he was doing been through life. So that's what I'd recommend. But that, not everybody has the same thought. I wouldn't say go to the gym, go to this person, because that's what I was doing. I was I was doing the most, doing mile runs, etc. But all that does is suppresses that. You need to speak to somebody as well. I think I meant that. Privately top ranked pays coaches separately from fighters. When Tio went outside of top rank, they took Joey with them. Bob Aram always holds grudges. Very, very, very true. Very true. Um, very true. Bob Aram. Do you know what it is? Do you know what? I might actually just hold up. Bear with me, guys. Let me just change one setting. That's better. Because it was covering my head, bro. I felt like I was wearing a belly. Anyway, Bob. Oh crap! I missed something. Sorry, guys. I probably put. Yep. Bob Aram always holds grudges. I agree. I agree, and do you know what? At the same time, when it comes to money, Bob Aram puts money first. I think Bob Aram will sell the people closest to him if it means if he means he's making a lot of money from it. Like money with Bob Aram, grudges are like money. He just forgets about it. And you know what? I'm here for it, man. I'm here for it, man. I keep up the good work. I can't stay before I go. Would you like me to introduce you to another Brit content creator to help you? Do you know what? Let me know. Like, put it in the comments, or message me on Instagram or Twitter. Mainly Instagram, actually. I don't know how to use Twitter DMs. Not gonna lie, that's not something I'm good at. Like, if I have to message anybody, it'll be on Instagram. Even if I know they're mostly on Twitter. That's personal. But message me, yeah, definitely, man. Everything in the link in the description box below. It's sad to say, but it's true. I think it's referred to Bob Aram. Anyway, boom. Let's get cracking. We spoke about Teofimo Lopez, and just the sort of general help in terms of mental health for general people. But tomorrow we have a cracking show. We have a cracking show tomorrow. We have the oops. Let me just get rid of the comments. Big up Sly Tendency as well. Big up Bruce Kai as well. Big up Bruce Kai. What's your prediction for tomorrow? Great question. Great question. I'm gonna run through it at the moment in time. Great question. I'm literally just going to go through it like right now. Okay. Sly Tendency. Hey Tony, I love you. Big up Tony as well. Yeah, check out Tony as well. Tony's reviews. Definitely check him out. Okay. Cool. All right, let me just. Bruv, this keeps messing up. Anyway, this week's The Fighting Talk show, we're talking about Chris Eubank Jr. versus Liam Williams. Okay. Now, I'm not being funny. Maybe it's just me, but if this was in between pay-per-view fights like AJ Usyk or Dillian White Fury or regardless, yeah, like why, like Wilder versus bloody Andy Ruiz, or if it was in between like a lot of the bangers, I don't know how much I'll really, pay attention to this fight. I'll cover it, but I wouldn't like I would be fully invested into this fight. Okay, because like I'll just have other alternatives. But because we've been so scarce in January, because like we've just been fed crumbs. Like I'm talking, was it Maccabi fight last the other day? Gary Russell Jr. versus Magsayo. We had Joseph Jr. versus, I have no idea what the other geezer's name was. Who did he fight? Some random geezer. Oh yes, it was a replacement. Steven Gerrard. Yeah, Steven. Fucking hell, Steven Gerrard. Yeah, we just been like we've just been starving of decent boxing, starving. But now we get a first. Is this the first decent card of the year? Is it? Somebody let me know, because I've not. Apart from this, I don't think there's been a lot of decent cards throughout the year. We've also got. I'm not covering Keith Thurman versus Barrios, by the way, guys, because I'm not being funny. It's a guy who's been inactive, and a guy versus is a blown up was it blown up super lightweight. I'm not being funny, but like blown up super lightweight who's lost to a lightweight fighter in Gervonta Tank Davis. So when it comes to fights like that, I'm probably not going to pay that much attention. Unless no boxing, across like the whole board. Maybe I'll cover it, but nah, I've got better things to do. Anyway, boom. Who first and foremost, right? With Chris Eubank Jr. versus Liam Williams. Where is it? Yeah. A part of me thinks, and I'm watching the gloves are off. A part of me thinks that Chris Eubank Jr. is in the head of Liam Williams. Would you not agree? Let me know if you disagree. Okay, or let me know if you agree. I believe that Chris Eubank Jr. is in Liam Williams' head. So when I'm sort of assessing this preview, I'm adding that as a huge factor. A huge factor, because it's just Liam Williams was just emotionally charged. Like he was all over the place when he was speaking to Chris Eubank Jr. He wasn't relaxed. He was just like getting triggered by everything he was saying, and he had no real comeback to a lot of the stuff that Chris Eubank was saying. Now maybe it's because Chris Eubank's a great talker, but part of me thinks he's in his head. A part of me does. Okay, now first and foremost, we when it comes to this fight, we also have to talk about where they are and who is this best for in terms of ranking, etc. Now, I've looked at the rankings. Chris Eubank, Chris Eubank Jr. is ranked really high across multiple governing bodies. IBF don't even rank the pair of them. Now, I don't know what's going on with the IBF, but somebody let me know. Yeah, but IBF don't rank any of them. So anyway, Chris Eubank Jr. is top 3 WBC, he's number 1 WBA, and he's top 5 WBO. And, Liam Williams is basically 6th across 2 governing bodies, the 7th across 1. So what that basically means is this. This is Chris Eubank Jr.'s fight to lose. If Chris Eubank Jr. loses this fight, you know what it does? A lot of people will lose faith in Chris Eubank Jr. Partly because he's responsible, because he's got rid of this trainer, got rid of that trainer, but a lot of people lose confidence in his ability to be a top level boxer. Him being a potential world champion, that confidence will drop to the floor. Okay, but in terms of both fighters, in terms of both attributes, what would I say are the pros and cons of both fighters? For first and foremost, let me talk about Chris Eubank Jr. Chris Eubank Jr. has got a good engine. He has got a good engine. Okay, very durable. Like he's very much, a robot in the ring in terms of just his athleticism. I was about to choke it out, but athleticism, and his speed, etc. He's not super fast, but he's extremely fast, and maybe it's just he's fighting bums in the last couple of years that made him look fast, but I would consider him a fast fighter. Okay, um, in terms of just the general cons, it's his decision making, his power, and training with Roy Jones. I would say his decision making, it's not great. And what I mean by that is that sometimes when he engages with somebody, he doesn't. It's almost like a half-assed engagement, and then he pulls back, and then it's another half-assed engagement, and then he pulls back. It's like if he just waited a couple of more minutes and just went for a full burst, relaxed a bit, went for another full burst, full throttle, gear five, because I think he's just going in gear threes and like gear fours at best. If he goes in gear fives, drop back to gear two, gear three, run back to gear five again, he may knock out his opponents a lot quicker. Look at Marcus Morrison, and the other opponent, his last opponent. He could have got them out a lot sooner, but his decision making is what made that fight drag on longer than what it needs to be. Plus, that also comes with Roy Jones Jr. That also comes with Roy Jones Jr. But I'm going to put more of that responsibility on Chris Eubank Jr.'s doorstep. He needs to take his, in terms of decision making in the ring, a lot better. And maybe that comes with training, preparation, but it's almost like it's just clicking the wrong button. Like, let me give you an example. With football, when somebody's supposed to shoot and they pass, but when someone's supposed to pass, they shoot. That's exactly what that's what exactly Back Junior is. Okay, I clocked it. Maybe some people disagree, etc. Um, big up, Chuck Lesnar. You know what? The stream started at 9 when we go live 9 every Friday. Okay. Um, but yeah, notifications are all over the place, bro. Like, I don't know what's going on with the notifications. Because I have another screen where I see when I get notified, and sometimes it don't happen. So don't worry about that, bro. Listen. You're not in school yet, when you're late to the class, you have to stand up, you have to explain yourself. And OT, if you're late to the class, you get welcomed. Yeah, take your seat, have fun. Okay, you're not gonna get cussed at. Boom. Anyway, with regards to Liam Williams, now Liam Williams, sorry, before I get into it, he's a very difficult person to pin down his specific weaknesses. I was racking it. I was just like, I know what he's good at, but it's very difficult to pinpoint what he's actually bad at. Unless you watch like 30, 40 fights of him, and that's when you probably kind of clock it after a while. You say, all right, cool. He's doing the same sort of mistake, which is getting him caught. I'm not really clocking it yet, because maybe I haven't watched a lot of his fights, but I watch a couple to understand what he's good at. Anyway, he's aggressive. Okay, very aggressive. He's like, and that's probably his weakness as well. At the same time, he's a one way on the highway, one trick pony. He's very good at just coming forward and trying to take off your head. If he does all of this, like, stuttering business, all of this like fated business, it don't really work well for him. It don't really work well for him. He's only good at one thing and one thing only, which is to seek and destroy. It's very simple. That's one of his strengths, and is also one of his weaknesses at the same time. He has got a decent jab. I've noticed that as well. He has got a decent jab. Um, I wouldn't say he's great, but he's very decent, and he does have a little bit of power. I wouldn't say he's great, but he's also decent. Problem is, he can't hack speed, and I think that's what I clocked after a while when it came to him. Speed, it's going to be absolutely wrong for him. If you're quicker than him, it's all over. If you have more power in general, don't really make much of a difference. I think he can probably soak up a little bit, depending on how much of a power. But if you just got a little bit more power than him, but speed is a little bit slower, you're not really gonna touch him. Like, I'm not gonna lie, you might even lose. But if you're if you're faster than him, you saw that with the Andrade fight, he can't hack it. He can't hack it. Andrade has a lot of power as well, but I think the speed really kills him. It wasn't the awkwardness; it was the absolute sheer speed. And Chris Eubank has a little bit of speed to really trouble Liam Williams. Now, like I said before, I think he's in his head. I think Chris is in his head. A lot of people may disagree, but like from the way I'm looking at it and the pictures. Listen, if I'm seeing this here, the one on the right as well, in particular, that just says to me, I don't care. Chris Eubanks just saying, I don't care what you think, and he's just saying, I'm just going to do whatever, and I don't know, but you get what I mean. I think he's in his head. Maybe I could be mistaken. Another key factor in all of this. Now, this one could go left. This one could go well. It's this man. Yeah, I picked a decent picture for him, so hopefully, if he's watching this, he'll be proud. Roy Jones Jr. for me, and a lot of people are saying that he's not a good trainer. He hasn't trained anybody, etc. Okay, I would like to reserve judgment until he trains somebody other than Chris Eubank Jr. And the reason why I say that is because Chris Eubank Jr. isn't known to be one of the most. He's not a coachable individual. Put it that way. He almost does what he wants when he wants, and doesn't feel a type of way if anyone has any problem with it. He's got rid of trainers. Well, after 1 or 2 fights, after 1 or 2 years, he's got rid of trainers. His respect for generally in terms of trainers is probably the worst that I've probably most boxers that I know or even watch on TV. I would say he respects the trainers the least. I would definitely say that. So I wouldn't then turn around and say, "Oh, now, no, look at Roy Jones Jr. He can't get Chris Eubank Jr. to a decent level because that's unfair. Chris Eubank Jr. is a hard place to start off with. Okay, I wanted to maybe coach somebody different, somebody who's a little bit more coachable, who's getting better naturally, and roll with that, man. But overall, if you had to put me to who do I think is going to win, I think the first half of the fight will just be a little bit competitive. First 4 rounds, first 5 rounds will be like neck and neck. It will be like I think they will be very competitive against each other. It might actually be a good fight, to be fair. It might actually be a very good fight. But when it comes to round 5 onwards, I just think that the gas tank of Lee Williams will be just going down a bit. And I just think the intensity of Chris Eubank and his stamina and his relentlessness will just carry on building and building and building. And I think it's going to be a late. I would say I'm poised between late stoppage or points. A part of me thinks that this actually might go to points. So I'm going to say Chris Eubank Jr. to win on points. Because if I think about it, Andrade knocked out Lee Williams round 9, I think 8 or 9. Was it? Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. Round 8 or 9. That's when Andrade knocked him out. And I just think Chris Eubank doesn't have that much power, isn't as fast as Andrade. And I think that will probably drag on a little bit. And plus, I think Lee Williams may get up a lot more. And I just think that he can, plus the home crowd, I think it will probably drag on 2 points. But let me know who you guys have in the comment section below. Um, hold on. Let me go back up. I think Roger Jr. can be a good trader. He needs time. I agree. Let's reserve judgment on him. Of all of the people in terms of trainers, I'm going to reserve judgment until he trains a couple of more fighters other than Chris Eubank Jr. Because I think if it's very different to somebody like a Tunde who's predominantly worked with. Actually, no, Sundays worked with O'Hara Davis, worked with Chisora, but you get the gist. Like, if there's certain traders that's just working for one person, okay, like depending on who that fighter is, I can kind of maybe cast somewhat of a judgment. But Chris Eubank Jr. specifically, I can't because he don't listen to traders at all. So it's very I can't cast Chris Roy Jones Jr. based on Chris Eubank. You know what? If you know what I mean. Osborne says that's word. Oh, sorry. Class says to Osborne that's word. He said a few times, and IFO reported it as well. Agreed. Only way Williams wins is boxing and moving. I don't think he's quick enough for boxing and moving. I think he's too flat-footed. He home crowd. I can't see him grabbing or running away. And if he does, it might actually would it. But the other guy who fought Chris Eubank, his last fight was just on his bike, and Chris Eubank ended up hunting him down anyway. So I just don't think that's going to work with Liam Williams. It's a good tactic, but with Liam Williams, can he stick to that game plan? We have to find out on his bike. Similar to Groves, I know exactly what you're talking about. He ain't ever going to KO Eubank. Agreed. That's how we would win. Yeah, that's how. To be fair, that's probably the only way he could win. Jab, move, run away. That's literally the only way he could win. I don't know, that's a good link up. I'm not sure. Oh, Oswald, yeah, Oswald said that that's for World Trading with Reynoso. I'm not sure. I'm not getting it. I'd be surprised if William did box and move. I think Eubank has got in his head and he'll try knock him out. And you're right. He won't knock out you. He won't knock Eubank out. Agreed. Absolutely agreed. So I just think that this might go to points. I'm thinking a points win for Eubank. And if it's a stoppage, we're talking 11 or 12. Probably 11 or 12. Yeah, 11 or 12 or points. But if I had to pick one, I would say points. And it might actually be a very similar fight to Marcel Morrison. If you guys know Marcus Morrison, I keep saying Marcel. Who's Marcel Morrison? Is that a Love Island guy? Is that anyway? Ignore me. Yeah, I'd be surprised too. Eubank death is in his head for sure. Yep. Eubank will probably stalk him and let his hands fly. I think a late stoppage. So I think a lot of people are very much on the same sort of mindset. Late stoppage or basically a Chris Eubank Jr. win. I don't think a lot of people, and I've just checked it in terms of generally online. I don't think a lot of people are giving Liam Williams the win. So if he ends up winning this fight, and to be fair, if he ends up knocking Eubank out, I'm gonna swallow my word. I'm just going to take it on the chin and swallow my word. But I really doubt that's going to be the case. And you know what? If Chris Eubank Jr. loses to Liam Williams, provided that the style of fighters that they both and Chris Eubank Jr. has definitely got a lot more advantages over Liam Williams. If he ends up losing this fight, like it's going to be a bad loss. The only thing Liam Williams has over Eubank is a tad bit of power, and is he got better? I wouldn't even say it's better jab. Well, one's got 7 out of 10 jab, the other guy's got a 6 out of 10 jab. It's like that kind of stuff, but it's just a little bit more power and a little bit more simpler mindset. But you can't lose to my man. You can't lose to my man. Big up Bobby Wright. Bobby Wright, a huge supporter of Off the Canvas Boxing, also a huge supporter of the Stamina for Sale. The Fight is Right. I was about to say the Fight Talk Show. The Fight is Right. Huge supporter as well. So big him up as well. Oh, I forgot to mention what he said. I think you're going to see Liam Williams be proper dirty tomorrow. I agree. He's in his head. You know when someone's in your head, yeah, you're gonna be doing some mad stuff, yeah. You're gonna be kicking into like kneeing his thigh, you're going to maybe do low blow shots, you're going to do behind the head shots. Like if you guys see all of that, we all know Chris Eubank Jr. is entered the mothership, yeah. He's accessed the mainframe and he's just playing with him at this point. He's hypnotized. You know, like in certain African tribes, yeah, you know when they get the like the pot of spells, yeah, and you're now all of a sudden hypnotized. That's what happened. You know, in is it Sherlock Holmes? You know in Sherlock Holmes when they get the pocket watch and they do this, yeah? Or is it Doctor Strange? Or one of them, like, somebody let me know. But you know, you get that pocket watch, you do that, yeah, and then you start like dancing to the tune of the person who's doing that. Oh, it was Batman. It was Batman. It was Gotham. It was Gotham. They had a guy. Oh, I can't remember what's his name. Oh, it was Batman. I know it was Batman. And it's gonna bug me. Also, Eubank could go on from here, even if he can. Also, Eubank could go on from here, even if he loses. Williams can't go anywhere. Stanley, it's a must win for him. Do you know what? I don't think, considering looking at all of the rankings. Let me just drop the comment as well. Looking at all the rankings, I don't think he's considered great amongst any of them. So if he ends up losing, it's just going to put him back to the same place he's already in. I don't think it's going to detriment him to. I don't think him coming off this loss is any any worse than him coming off the Andrade loss. It's actually, well, it's going to be a bit of a flop. But Chris Eubank, yo, and the way he was talking as well, I think it's a must win for the pair of them. If it's a draw, like do you know what it is? It's a bit like if a bottom of the half team like Norwich come up against Man United and they end up lose and they end up coming up against each other for like a Premier League match or whatever it is. Man United should beat them. But if Norwich lose, they're expected to lose. But they're really the worst situation to begin with. But the fall isn't that far, if you get what I mean. But if Man United lose, are Man United losing, guys? I swear Man United are playing today. I swear. Oh crap, they're drawing 1-1. Oh shit. KG's pissed. KG, we're gonna tune into KG shortly afterwards. Anyway, pick up KG. And Bruce Kai. Hold on. Oh yeah. It's bruv. Yo, this one. The coat. The coat. I love the coat, man. I'm here for it, man. Will Eubank be world champ this year? No. Nah. Nah, I can't see it, man. I can't see it. But actually, who is world champion? Let me just see who's the world champion. I don't want to get mistaken with anything. Andrade. Actually, nah. Nah. Morata. Root. Hmm. Morata, yeah. I don't think he's fighting Charlo. I don't think he's fighting Golovkin this year. Morata's the only one. And Morata gives him a chance potentially. But Morata's coming up against Triple G, I think. And if Morata loses to Triple G, I just can't see it, man. I can't see it. I think not this year, but maybe early next year, because I think Andrade's vacated, but he's too far away from Andrade to even be considered in the ranking if there's a final eliminator. Plus, on the other side, yeah, it's not. I doubt it. I really doubt it. But maybe next year. I think next year, if you ask me, would he become world champion next year? I would say, I would say so. Yeah. If he loses on Saturday, no way. He won't be champion the next 2 years if he loses on Saturday. If he wins, I think he'll be champion in 2023, not this year. Brother, he fights twice a year. Like, no way. No way. 100%. EUBANK could go on, but Liam, it's game over. True. Liam's closer to the bottom. So, I mean, how much worse could it get for Liam Williams? How much worse could it get? He's already got a couple of more losses on his record. It's not really gonna make much of a difference. I think he lost to Liam Smith. Is he lost to Liam Smith? Yeah, I think he's lost to Liam Smith, and he's lost to a couple of other people. Don't really make a difference for. Yeah. Do you know what? It's a fair perspective. I'm not going to be mad at that perspective. Ronaldo, Mr. Bruv, yo, don't gas me. Don't gas me. I'm a Chelsea fan. Yeah, Bun United, bro. Anyway, I've had arguments with KG about that. Anyway, I think the promotion. Oh, big up. Oh, triple. I think Bob Wright said Triple G. I think his promotional company will push hard for the title fight. They have got to move him fast. Don't forget, they are pushing to be the face of Sky Sports. Bad move. Do you know what? I think a theory that I have, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, a theory that I have, I think that Boxer may sign a bad boy like front runner. We're talking Dillian White, like someone like that to be the face of that whole promotional company. Because a lot of their guys are like B level guys, but they, in terms of the UK standpoint, they haven't got a lot of A star hitters like your number one guy. So I think they might just get Dillian on Boxer. Not, yeah, I think it's possible. But then again, he would have to be leaving Eddie, and I can't see him doing that as well. But I definitely believe they're going to get a certain person in the next couple of years. Definitely, they are very good. Like I think Boxer, don't like. If you guys may think I'm crazy, but it wouldn't surprise me in the next five years or 4 years they'll be on the same level as Matchroom. Within what? Within 1 year, they've done more than what Matchroom Boxing have done in their first 3, maybe even 4 years or something like that. So they are doing well. Big them up. Um. Oh, sorry, missed that one. If belts get vacated, I'll have a chance to be world champion potentially. Andrade looks to vacate, Triple G possibly moving up or even retiring as well to fight Canelo for the trilogy. If I was Canelo, I wouldn't fight Triple G. That's just me. If I was Canelo, I wouldn't fight Triple G. I'll fight Benavidez on Cinco de Mayo. I just make it a whole Latino themed event. Because it's like Cinco de Mayo, just you fight every year at Cinco de Mayo. It's not like a Crawford racial incident. You fight on Cinco de Mayo every year. It just makes sense, in my opinion, to fight somebody who's from a very similar culture to you on that same day that you're going to fight Cinco de Mayo anyway. Like that's just in my opinion. And then spend the rest of the year fighting all of these other guys. But I like if there's Benavidez available, I'll fight him, man. That's what I'll do. Why Clarissa Shields not on main event? Because her opponent isn't as good to be on the main event. That's why her opponent is like her opponent's not great. She can't be main event without a kind of level of opponent in the UK as well. Nah, and you have to. If it's in America, it'll be the other way around. I think EUBANK would be co-promotion. I think she'll be main event. Not interested in Keith. One-time Thurman. No, bruv. I'm sorry. I can't. Like, do you know what it is? Yeah, it's the pay-per-view on top of it. That's what really is disheartening. It's the pay-per-view, the level of opponent, the fact that he's inactive. it's like everything around it. It don't scream like I'm trying to do what's best for the fans. Everything around it just seems, yeah, I'm just here for another couple of paydays. So I'm not really going to like promote that. If it was like Chisora, who's we know is in for a payday, but Chisora's active and Chisora puts in 100%, cool. But like, nah, the matchmaking, I'm not here for, man. I'm not here for it. Also, Rafham, the show is flying fast, and also it didn't crash as well. That's what makes it sick. Hold on, hold on. Let me just quickly just drop the link because we usually drop it towards the back end. But I have a lot of things to run through. Guys. So apologies if we might have to miss a couple of stuff. Do you know what? Dillian White and anti-superior talk, we'll leave it to next week, man. Like the only thing is that they have to sign contracts on that side. Not really much. We'll talk about that another time. Don't really make a difference. But a couple of things, yeah. AJ. Oh my goodness. This one. Yo. Anthony Joshua. Like this week, he's had a couple of howlers, man. He's had a couple of howlers. Like I was tuning into his Snapchat, and like I said, I'm an AJ fan. I want AJ to win. So anything I say is out of love and not out of any sort of hate. But I just think that I have to question the people around AJ at this point. When I'm seeing stuff like this, I keep seeing interviews where it says Joshua said this or Joshua said that. I ain't done no interviews recently. Can I live lol? I just use my Snapchat to promote boxing via my sponsors, Khalas. Which if you guys don't know Arabic, which I'm probably a lot of you guys, Khalas means like end of conversation. Done, or like end of basically, yeah. So see, if I was someone from another country here, you lot will probably get this. Anyway, Khalas is like it's common, like Khalas. Anyway, well, Tony Sims asked me a question. What do you think of the outcome? Will be in AJ Usyk 2. It'll be difficult. It'll be a difficult fight, but I believe Anthony Joshua can win if he's got the right tactics right. Although it's a bit worrying hearing him say he doesn't need a trainer to beat Usyk, and I'm actually AJ Snapchat is or Snapchat screenshot is saying I'm actually wondering when I said that. Which is mad. But like AJ, my concern with AJ is that he's listening to too much people, too much of the audience. And you know what the crazy thing is? AJ doesn't even follow a lot of people on Instagram. So somebody brought this to his attention. It's a sad reality. And I want AJ to just focus on his boxing, not on anything else. Yeah, you unfollow these people. So if whoever's giving you this information, just like cut them off or tell them, bruv, no more of this nonsense. If the whole world's talking about me, I don't want to hear it. But listen, guys, big you guys up. We have Osborne. Listen, big up, Osborne.
Big up, man, bro. What you saying?
I'm good, man. Today, listen, internet is flying. Everything is all good. Remember last week it was listen,
Yeah, I clocked it
smashing up.
last week. It was a bit bash, wasn't it?
Listen, I felt like I was inside. It felt like like the computer was like sniffing Charlie. I was like, what's going on? When I clocked it, yeah. Listen, when I clocked it was that USB stick, bruv. I stamped it out like I had to spin the block. I was like, what, bruv? I stamped it out, yanked it. Anyway, we won't have that any issue anymore. Bigger stuff up here. First and foremost, Chris Eubank Jr. versus Dean Williams fight. How you see that fight going?
Yo, do you know? I agree with everyone. I think Williams won't be able to stop him because obviously Williams won't be able to stop Eubank.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But they've said that it's going to be cagey at the start. I feel like it's going to get to a stage where Williams is going to want to impose himself to win in front of his home crowd, innit? To knock him out.
Mm,
And I think that's when Chris is going to do his best work.
So
I
you say
say
like he'll be
seven,
like
eight.
wide open, and then he could just
Yeah,
start like going for it, and then Chris
yeah,
Eubank Jr. will come on the inside, could just like pick him off, like all right,
yeah. Because that's it.
that.
That's it. The speed, innit? He's going to have to get on the inside, and I feel like he won't have to chase him when it gets to that point.
I can see a knockdown. I can see a knockdown from like a collision where Williams just gets countered in the early stages, and because he's just going in full force. A bit like
Yeah,
the Andrade was like he got caught early, but I could definitely see an early knockdown to an extent. But are you concerned with what's happening with AJ? Like he's over worrying with what's happening in the media.
yeah.
That's
Before I jump onto that, I've got a bad feeling about Williams going a bit dirty in this fight, though.
I'm hearing you.
Yeah,
I'm hearing you. Talk to me.
yeah. Because I've got a feeling he might start putting the head in and doing all the dirty stuff. That's a bit, them dark arts and that.
Mm,
And I'm not really down for that.
I can
I
see it.
mean, to a certain level, it's all right, but when it goes over the top, and I feel
Mm.
like he might push it. Do you know what I mean?
Home crowd and everything.
Yeah,
He might just
the
be
pressure.
like the crowd are backing him, and he just might just headbutt. Like you know how Josh Warrington, when the
Yeah,
whole crowd was on him, the whole crowd was on him. He just ended up just like headbutting, headbutting his
yeah,
way out.
yeah. Trust me.
So I definitely agree with you on that, sense. But so you're saying the sixth round KO by Chris Eubank. That's an early one. Do you think he can knock him out? Like he has the
I,
power to.
I say to 6-8. I think he
Okay.
does it. Yeah, 6-8. I think the opportunity is gonna be there, and he's gonna have to take it.
Mm, what are you worried about Roy Jones Jr. though?
Yeah, I suppose so. After watching, I think there was a video that was put up of them doing the same move, and it was a bit like, yeah. Obviously, I rate Roy Jones, but his talent was just natural. Do you know what I mean? It
Yeah.
was, and like you can't copy that. You've got to do your own thing. And I think we're all the same, saying we want to see the old Eubank back.
Yeah, or a better Eubank at the
Yeah,
very minimum.
yeah,
Like, it doesn't have to be like the Eubank of old that was just like a machine, but he wasn't really thinking. He was just throwing little punches in bunches. But like, I just want Eubank. Firstly, I don't want Eubank to be confused. I want to watch Eubank, and I want to see everybody watch the same thing that I'm watching, and have draw very similar conclusions. I don't
yeah,
want to see 20 people with different game plans of what they thought he was trying to do.
yeah,
It has to be simple. In his last fight, I didn't know what the hell he was trying to do. I'm not gonna lie. It's him and who's the other one? Huey Fury are two fighters that when I watch them, it takes me like a couple of days to kind of work out what the hell they were trying to do. I'm like, what are you man doing?
yeah.
Do,
I hear
do,
ya.
do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear ya.
But I'm just like, you know what it is. With them doing the same thing, I'm not going to draw too much into it, but at the same time, it's not. It's Instagram, so like they just want to make
Yeah,
themselves
no,
look
true.
good. Like
It does look good for Instagram. To be fair, it did actually bang for that.
it banged. They were
Yeah,
going to do it anyway. He was going to do that, like the whole moves anyway himself. If Roy Jones Jr., it's like it makes sense. But
yeah.
overall, yeah, and
On
sick,
the AJ thing,
yeah,
I, the 258 management.
yeah.
I don't get that. Is that AJ's company? I don't. What is it? What's the
That's
crack there?
AJ's company. So, a bit like how it is with Mayweather Promotions.
Yeah,
So AJ's got his own. Well, that's they do promotion, but AJ's got his own management team,
yeah,
and his management team manages fighters like visit facilities, probably does their books. It just looks after the well-being of a lot of their fighters, and it started off with like because it came from 24/7, but not 24/7. Go the extra mile, 258. It all started with AJ, and he employed Freddie Cunningham. He employed the guy starts his name starts with the L, not Luke. Freddie Cunningham and a couple of other people, Joby, his cousins, a couple of other people, and they formed their own little company and basically just look after fighters. A bit like how
Are they also there to look after his socials or look after his advertisement sort of thing?
advertisement, yes, brand awareness and all those kind of stuff, and scheduling posts and what to say in post and all of that they deal with.
Right, okay. Because the thing is, when you look at Fury, yeah, I find it weird because, man, he just grabs his phone and it's him, it's Fury. It's not, nobody's told him to go on it, nobody's told him to do this, he just does it.
Oh,
Yeah,
I think AJ's got access to his like Instagram and stuff, but he mainly, all of the personal stuff is all on the Snapchat.
yeah,
Instagram is corporate, Snapchat is like
that's him.
that's AJ, yeah. So
Right, okay.
if you're on the Snapchat, that's AJ. The
Yeah,
Instagram is 258, yeah.
right,
But
okay.
but the Snapchat is where I got a lot of the pictures from. All of this was
Yeah,
all from Snapchat,
yeah.
which is which is
I agree with you 100%. Whoever's bringing it to him, it is a bit, it
mm,
is a bit weird. Do you know what I mean? Because I've always talked to my boys and said, yo, if you're famous, would you have someone looking at your stuff or would you look at it yourself? And like, I'm in the middle with that. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm sort of like, you
mm,
want to concentrate on stuff, yeah? But at the same time, I feel like you want to be in control of what content is going out.
mm. I mean, you can kind of okay. It depends on what you are trying to do, because when it comes to stuff like this, you have to how do I say? You have to have if you okay. Let's just say you own. Let's just say you're a boxer. What you just ask, what do I want to put out on my Instagram? It may just be posts with like celebrities. It may just be trading clips here and there. Nothing too shabby, stuff like that. The- But so you can have control of that kind of stuff in terms of maybe they can fix it. Maybe they may put like a caption for you. They may do the whole editing of the picture for you. And you just send it to you, upload. They with Tyson Fury, because Tyson Fury is just his team is a lot more minimal. He don't. I'm telling you, what AJ has, what Fury has, is completely different. AJ's got a whole unit of about 258 and an army behind him.
Yeah,
Tyson Fury, Tyson Fury's got three people: nutritionist, flipping, what's it called, the dietitian, coach, and the guy who does massages. That comes once a couple of times a week. He don't care all of the other stuff. He don't have.
yeah,
AJ has a whole sports center. He's got bloody like he's got the whole shabam. So this is where I don't want AJ to have control of his Instagram as an athlete, because I want him to post. Sorry, I want him if he wants to be connected with the audience, bruv. I'm telling you, start a burner account. Yeah,
yeah,
do whatever it gets. Yeah, just put random dumb pictures of like keyboards. Yeah, and start following all of these people if you want to be connected. But he needs to focus on just what he's doing, not not what Tony Sims says. Yeah, because this was all sent to him. This is an Instagram post that was clicked up and sent to him. Yeah.
yeah,
So somebody took their time out of their day to send him that piece of information, because he only follows his sponsors. He don't even follow Eddie Hearn. He follows Match Boxing, I think.
yeah,
So it's like he follows like so after above all of that, AJ, especially after the Usyk fight, he mentioned I was listening to people when they were saying I was stiff. Yeah. So I tried to outbox him. I tried to do all of that. Yeah. So his problem was listening to people and what they thought that he should do. Now he's listening to Tony Sims again. Come on, man. What is this?
yeah. True saying. True.
Choose
I
that.
hear you. Because a lot of people were saying that he should have took that deal, weren't they? Or took the step aside. To me,
Do you think he should have
absolute
taken it?
mad. Nah, bro. I just really do not. Because to me, yeah, you leave yourself in a position where anything could happen. Whereas
Mm.
if he's going to fight Usyk, yeah, he's going to fight Usyk, and he's either going to win and get his belts back, or he's going to lose and not get his belts. But if you leave it for Usyk and Fury to fight, or whatever the situation was, if one of them, like whoever wins, if they get injuries or anything like that, that's more time that you've got to wait.
Do you know what? A lot of what I was thinking about in the last couple of weeks and how I thought that the conversations were happening behind the scenes were pretty much bang on. I knew AJ didn't want to step aside.
Yeah,
He didn't want it.
100%.
He
Yeah,
didn't want it. And I
yeah,
knew Eddie and all of the guys around him at 258 would probably sit around the table and try to convince him. Yeah. Watched the interview yesterday. Eddie Hearn confirmed it. I said,
yeah,
bruv, I could have told you this myself. Yeah. You lot sitting there saying, bruv, 15 step aside minute. Right there, there. Yeah, you're on it. You're on it. Yeah. And like he probably said, nah, and bun all of that.
yeah,
But my worry is that why is he saying that? He's not saying that because he is worried about what Usyk or like a delay in injury. Yeah, he's worried about how he's perceived as being a throwback fighter. So it goes back to how he's being looked at by the outside world, social media, and how they view him. I don't
yeah,
think I like a lot of what I'm noticing with AJ. I don't. He does a lot of stuff just for the fans. You know, after fights,
yeah,
he turns around, he goes, "Hooligans want to fight." Have you
yeah,
clocked it? Yeah.
yeah,
How much stuff does he do just for the fans?
yeah,
Just for the fans, yeah. Whereas Floyd, yeah, and I don't agree with this tactic, but this is the truth, bruv. The guy just cares about money, yeah, bro. If the money, listen, he don't care how much the pay per view is. He don't care who watches it, yeah.
yeah.
He just wants money, and he wants watches, cars, like women, bruv. He wants the whole shabam, yeah.
For himself,
AJ,
yeah,
AJ wants the respect of his audience.
yeah.
It's plain and simple.
Do you remember when I can't remember who Dylan White had just fought, and then AJ jumped onto the
Perfect him.
side?
No,
Yeah, he jumped onto the. Do you remember that when they?
Joseph Parker.
Yeah, and AJ was going to get in the ring, but they stopped him from getting the ring. And I remember being annoyed at what AJ turned around and said, saying, "Do you guys want to see me fight White next?" And I was like, "Nah, nah, nah. You should be on crud. He's just won his fight. You should be telling him, bruv, I'm coming after you." Do you know what I mean? Like, make it clear.
This is the flip of a coin between a people champion and a people's pleaser.
Yeah,
If you're a people's champion, you like anything you do. Your first thought is, what are the audience going to think about me? If you're a people's pleaser, is I only listen to what the audience wants from me.
yeah,
There's a very thin line between a people's pleaser and a people's champion, and I think AJ from the Olympics, his foundation was everyone likes me.
yeah.
Everyone likes me. Yeah. As soon as everyone turns against you, it's all over the place.
Yo, but you know what I find weird, Jay? Why? Why is it? Because do you remember when people have discussed this? And I've seen bare people saying it as well. Both Fury and AJ want to be liked by the fans. Like,
Yeah. True.
why? I don't get it. I really do not. You're a warrior. You should not care. You know Usyk, yeah? I bet any money he doesn't care about what them Ukrainians think about him. He goes in there, mashes work, does it for him.
Do you know what it is? Because Usyk grew up in an environment of just war torn, a bit like Dillian,
Yeah,
very similar to Dillian. Tyson Fury, on another case, I think Tyson Fury is his own separate entity, whereby I think he is a a serial attention seeker, and what I mean by that is he needs to bounce off something. He needs like part of me thinks I don't, and this might just be me. I think that he might have some like something wrong upstairs, something not quite right upstairs with Tyson Fury, because I've never known someone to be so hot and cold so quick, if that makes sense.
yeah,
Somebody who changed their opinion drastically, somebody who's just like when they're sitting down in the press conference to the very littlest of things of sitting down, he's just always fidgeting. Like he's always like He's one of those, those kids, yeah, that are just like active, like they're just touching stuff, they're just like shouting, they're just like those type of people, yeah.
Yeah,
That's Tyson Fury, and Tyson Fury's fuel comes off other people, but it's a different way. He doesn't need people to. He just needs attention.
yeah,
AG needs like people to like him.
yeah.
There's a big difference. There's a big difference, and I think if everyone turns around and started hating Tyson Fury, I don't think it will make a difference.
As long as
I
they're
don't think,
giving him the attention.
as long as they're giving him attention, I don't think
Yeah,
he'll care. I
yeah,
don't think he gives a damn. A bit like Floyd. He don't care. If you like me, great. If you don't, great. Like Chris Eubank. Um,
yeah. Yeah, Chris
but
EUBANK makes me laugh still, not gonna lie. I just
he's
have been love.
do
I've been
you know what
laughing
it
all
is?
this
I've
week.
come around to him. I've
Yeah,
really come around to him because, like before, I was just like, nah, man, like you should, because you see me, yeah. If you do all of the basics, like listening to your trainers, like turning up on time, like being on weight, like the basics, yeah. If you're a bit cocky outside of that, I'm all cool, yeah.
yeah,
Self confidence, but after all the training situation, I was just like, like I wouldn't I wouldn't promote Christian Beck Jr. in any way, shape, or form. But you know what? I I sort of done a whole 360 on him because I know he's last couple of years he's looking to take boxing seriously. I really do, and I really
yeah.
think that he's a lot more focused. Before he was just doing whatever he wanted to do. Um, with regards to what's it called? Fighting whoever opponent he puts in front, however tactic he wanted to do, whichever showboat he wanted to pull off. But I think over the last sort of couple of years since Roy Jones Jr. has really instilled work ethic, and I think anyone else who he played afterwards would just build off that
Yeah,
because I think Roy Jones Jr. calmed him down to a decent level. Maybe it's because of age as well, but I think Roy Jones Jr. as well.
I
But
think his dad backing off as well helped in a massive way,
mm,
massively. Because his dad's not, he's
mm,
not about as much. Do you know what I mean? I know he's still in the background,
that's
but he's
true.
not. Do you know what I mean? Because I remember bare people used to hate the fact that his dad was that involved. Bare people,
Yes,
bruv. Do you know what I
yes.
mean?
I wouldn't recommend it. Yeah, bit like
Yeah,
Teofimo. I
yeah.
won't
Well,
recommend.
that's it. Yeah, yeah. Because if you look at Conor Ben, that's how it should be. Do you know what I mean? That's worked out so good for him.
Support him on the
Yeah,
side, cheering, not in your corner telling you what to do. I mean, if you're a kid, like if you're under the age of like I don't know, let's say 16, and your father, or even your mother, because you know, s- I don't know a lot of mother trainers, but maybe there are. Okay, if they're teaching you, they're training you, and they get you to a certain level, I think after you turn pro, after a couple of fights, I think this is when you turn. This is when you got to listen to a pro trainer,
yeah,
and I think a pro advisor. The thing is here, he's got to just understand. And this is what I clocked with a lot of boxers. I don't think they really map out what the hell they want to do. Because
yeah,
if you want to become a world champion in terms of middleweight, you've got to look at who was world champion previous to you at that similar weight class or around those sort of weight classes. Okay, so you'll be looking at I don't know Pacquiao, Floyd, or whichever one, anyone from welterweight to super middleweight. You can just look at as a case study, and you've got to analyze. Okay, who had their family around, who didn't, who like what route did they do, how many hard fights did they have, how many times did they change trainers, all of that, and just follow that method. Success leaves clues, but I think Chris Eubank Jr. just freestyle. I think he freestyle.
yeah. True. Yeah, he did. hundred
That's
percent.
that's the issue. But overall, next question I've got to ask, yeah, who do you have winning this fight? This one, Fury versus White. Who do you
No.
want to win this fight first and foremost?
Okay, Dylan.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
hundred
That's
percent.
standard. That's
Yeah,
standard.
100%. Do you know what? I used to be a big Tyson Fury fan. And I'm not gonna lie, like people always think me, but me, it was like not even the comments that he made after he beat Vlad. It was just the fact that he didn't come back and challenge Vlad again because the opportunity was there. Do you know what I mean? If he'd have come back, beat Vlad again, yo,
Mm,
imagine the statement that he would have made. Like, Me, more time, I'm just annoyed that Tyson did what he like went off the road. Do you know what I mean? Don't
Yeah,
get me wrong. I'm not gonna play down none of the or make assumptions that he's made up anything. You know, he had his issues and he sorted them and he's come back again. In his coming back, to me, the fight that he should have chased really is AJ. I get he was going after Wilder to get a belt, but really, to me, as a British fan, and he knew what was what. This is the man who's just gone out and bleed Vlad. That's who he should have gone after and beaten. Do you know what I mean? I'd still now, if he'd have done that, probably I'd be like, yeah, yeah, yeah. But the fact that I know that then man went to Wilder instead and sort of blocked AJ out, it just doesn't sit right with me. Do you know what I mean? And that's my
I'm with
reason
you.
for. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I think Dylan. I think Dylan can win. I would like Dylan to win. Obviously, it's just that if you're gonna fight him, yeah, you've got to fight him in the right way. You've got to go,
mm,
and that's the thing. Can you do that?
Dillian, man, I want Dillian to win.
Yeah,
I want him to smash him up.
yeah,
But like for like AJ has got to beat Usyk. But if AJ beats Usyk, he's got a pretty good chance to beat in Fury. And the reason why I say, because even if Dillian, let's just say Fury beats Dillian, Dylan would have put a dent in him.
yeah,
Would have put a huge dent in him. So by the time it's basically like when you get chicken out the freezer, yeah, you let it defrost, and you just season it, and then AJ does the cooking and the plating. That's exactly what's going to happen in this circumstance. But I want overall in this fight, I want Dylan to win. Do I think he can win? Do you know what? The more I think about it, the more I believe that there is I think Dilly White is underrated in this fight. Because his strengths are body shots, left hooks, in probably a little bit inside fighting, his overall power and aggression. And I think those tactics in 2022 version of Tyson Fury is the worst tactics you could put in front of him because he
yeah,
struggled with Deontay Wilder's power. He also didn't enjoy with Deontay when Deontay Wilder caught him a couple. Deontay Wilder is not even the skilled fighter. He can't put together punches, and he managed to drop Tyson Fury 4 times in this
yeah,
last fight. So Dillian White, who's probably a lot more technically better, may not have as much power. If he does the right things, I think he could probably scrape a win.
yeah.
But it's going
I
to be a
think the thing
half-ass.
we all say is like, as long as Dylan doesn't have that lapse in concentration, which he seems, I don't know what where it comes from.
Do you know
That
what
lap,
I think it's the Povetkin and the Joseph Parker and Anthony Joshua fights that just a little bit combined, but
because he did it with what's his name as well, that other guy, that Bridgerweight now, the Bridgerweight champion.
Oscar Rivas.
Yeah, he did, didn't he? And later round, he sort of just had this little lapse and he got hit by one and it sort of stumbled him and obviously he recovered. But he can't do that. He needs to be on point. Do you know what I mean?
I think Tyson Fury. I could be mistaken. I don't think Tyson Fury is capable of just. Do you know what Dillian White has a lapse of concentration? I don't think Tyson Fury is quick enough to jump on that as soon as possible. I don't
Yeah.
think he's just like people like the Bridgerweight or like Oscar Rivas. He's a lot smaller. Like he's a lot quicker. He can just like
Yeah,
he can
you
jump on
can
that.
see him.
Joseph Parker caught Dillian White towards the back end, so it was like he was already tired anyway.
Yeah,
But the Povetkin, I don't see Tyson Fury because I think Dillian White is susceptible to the uppercut. But Tyson Fury, and somebody said this the other day on the fight is right. Tyson Fury uppercuts himself. Yeah. So
yeah,
I just think that if Dillian White has a lapse of concentration against AJ, AJ can hurt him.
yeah,
If he has a lapse of concentration against Deontay Wilder, it's the worst person you could have a lapse of concentration
yeah,
against. But Tyson Fury, I think he can get away with it.
yeah. I
If he
suppose
places,
so.
I think if because he's got long reach, I think he can get away with it. Unless Tyson Fury is spending 6 months worth of training on just uppercuts. Like every day, he just walks into training and said, "You know what, guys? Uppercut training today." Yeah.
Uppercuts today. Yo, do they
Upper-
train for uppercuts
Yeah, they do. They train for everything. They train for all sorts of tactics, all sorts of combination.
Because
They train.
it's an underrated punch, but it's one of my favorite punches, fam. Like, I a nice uppercut is a nice uppercut. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I think it's because the ring. I could be wrong, but the ring. I think the ring is slightly big these days, and I think people use their footwork a lot better
Oh, okay. So you can't get
nowadays.
close enough to do it.
Yeah, you can't get close enough to pull out the uppercut, um, and also an uppercut is probably the hardest punch to follow up on.
Oh, yeah, true.
An uppercut, unless you do an uppercut right hook, which a lot of fighters don't do right hooks, they do left hooks nowadays. An uppercut, it's hard to follow up with that unless you duck. Um, yeah, it's a difficult punch to follow up against. But if it's a hook, easy hook,
Yeah,
right hand hook, jab, hook, body shot. Like you can do a lot, but it's difficult to do that. And also, I think it's because I think fighters are conditioned in a different way to how they used to be. Because
yeah,
I've just noticed they're a lot more. They're a lot less like muscular. Have
yeah,
you noticed that? Maybe just be a lot less muscular, and so I don't think
yeah, true.
I don't
That's a
think
good
they're
point.
fully trained on the uppercut. But if so, I don't think Tyson Fury at 6'9" can do a sweet uppercut to Diddy White that's gonna knock him out. It can knock him down, but I don't think it's gonna knock him out. I think Tyson Fury
Yeah,
just leans on him, chin on his shoulder, pushing him back, draining the life out of him like he did to Deontay Wilder. Pretty
yeah. I
much.
can't. If that happens, I can't wait to see Dylan just throw him off him, fam. You just like,
Well, like how they did to AJ. Remember when
yeah,
AJ, yeah, he just threw him off like, and then started swinging afterwards. Nah, that would be sick. That would be sick.
yeah,
But I know there's the Dillian White. A lot of people are accusing him of being very quiet. Again, I'm indifferent. And you know what? Eddie Hearn said this as well. Why does it need to be shouting?
yeah,
Why does it need to be shouting? That's just basically jumping to their tune.
yeah. Do you know
And
what though? I think obviously the arbitration is still going on, isn't it? Or there's still
arbitration's
talks
still
about,
going on,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
So I think at the moment it is best for him to just be quiet.
Oh yeah, because he could be reckless.
Yeah,
Yeah. Like Dillian White, if he speaks, it's gonna be pure crud. It's gonna be
yeah,
pure recklessness.
yeah. It
Yeah.
is. Yeah,
Our AJ wants to be very similar, but I think AJ wants to. He's in between different personalities where he wants to be authentic, he wants to be transparent, but at the same time, he doesn't want to be like he doesn't want to give off too much. He doesn't want to be a chatty patty.
yeah.
I
And
think
do you know what? I love Eddie Hearn, yeah, but do you think AJ's career would have gone differently if he hadn't gone with Eddie Hearn?
I think he will go differently, but I don't think I think it would have been worse.
You think it'd have been worse?
I think it would have been worse.
Yeah,
I think there is no way he would have been rushed that fast after 16 fights fighting against Vladimir Klitschko. No way.
yeah,
No way. Like if I just look at the guys at the other promotional companies, Deontay Wilder was what before he fought a decent opponent, he had 35 fights under his belt. Andy Ruiz had 30 fights before he fought anyone half decent. And maybe he fought Joseph Parker, but the rest of them weren't great level of fighters. Who else did they have? Luis Ortiz, again, another individual who hasn't had a lot of great fighters under his belt. Adam Kaunaki, no, Helene is a different. Adam Kaunaki. Who else? Like these sort of guys, I'm talking about the US guys. They haven't had a lot of great names on their record.
yeah,
On the Frank Warren side, Tyson Fury, very similar circumstance, hasn't got a huge plethora of great talent on his record. And if you look at it, the two best resumes in the heavyweight boxing, in terms of at the highest level, you can argue is Tyson Fury because he's been in here the longest, but Dillian White and has got a good resume, and also AJ.
yeah,
So I personally believe that if he wasn't with Eddie Hearn, his career would have been worse. He would not have been as big as he is now
those
without
are
Eddie
bigger.
Hearn.
Fair enough. Fair enough. It's just something that popped into my head, and I thought I'd get your opinion.
that you know what? It's a great question because a lot of people have been thinking. I think Eddie Hearn has blocked him a lot of blessings,
Yeah,
like Deontay Wilder fight and etc. Because they didn't want to work specifically with Eddie Hearn. Not
yeah,
necessarily what Eddie Hearn did or said, but I just think that they don't like Eddie Hearn to begin with.
yeah,
So I think, and also the Frank Warren like the Tyson Fury ones. I just think that him associated with Eddie Hearn has caused problems with negotiating with the top level guys.
yeah,
But and you know what? It is justified that potentially AJ. It would be a good idea to jump like do a Canelo, go from this company now and do that company now, or do that company now. But he signed a lifetime agreement with Eddie Hearn,
yeah.
so all of that has gone out the window. And Chuck Lesnar said it could hurt Fury with body shots to
Flabby belly,
Fury,
you know.
flabby belly. Yo, Wilder threw good body shots in the first fight, but went away from the game plan. Wilder, I don't know, man. I don't know where that guy is, man. Where is that guy, man?
Oh, he's busy thinking about what he needs to do now because obviously the thing was ruined a bit. Do you know what though? This is another thing. I think I know I'm saying like White needs to be 100%, but the game plan. Do you think Craven Cottage? You know?
Nah, nah, I'm dead. I'm dead. Yo, man said Frank Gordon would have AG fighting at Greyburn Cottage, not Wembley. Nah,
Oh wow,
nah,
you went in
nah.
still.
That is mad. Nah, God bless the Fulham fans. Nah, that is crazy. Nah, you can't say that. Nah. To be fair, when they put Anthony Yardbird, Lynn, and Arthur in a community centre, so that's besides the point. But yeah, carry on what you're saying.
Yeah, like Fury would stop you from doing your game plan. Like that's what he did to Wilder.
Yeah.
Wilder, do you know what I mean? And he stopped him from the game plan because that's the thing that makes Fury great, isn't it? He can just change up his thing mid fight, whereas like a lot of these
Mm.
boxers, they can't, can they? They can't. It's an amazing thing to be able to do. Obviously, they make it look easy, but I bet it's not easy.
Changing your style, it's not. You know, what, at heavyweight, it's not easy. It's not
Yeah,
easy. If you're a lot lighter, then you can go from orthodox southpaw like Crawford. You can go like from jabbing. You can go power. A lot of pressure. You can do all sorts if you're a lot smaller. Heavyweight, it's not that case.
yeah,
But you know what? I just but that only applies if you've got time to do what you're doing. If you don't have time and if you're being pressured, like if Dilly White puts it onto you, all of those switch and game tactics are gone right out the window.
yeah.
Look
They
at
got
Joseph
yeah,
Parker. Joseph Parker is a clear case study. Joseph Parker go from doing all of these different tactics, but when Dilly White put it on him, he couldn't do it.
yeah,
And but also to be fair, I think Joseph Parker is now working with Tyson Fury to give intel on how Dillian White fights. So he's being a snake. You can tell, man. You can say, "Yo, my man, listen. He uses this left hook this time, yeah, but he does it in a certain way. The how like it hurts. He could just give him on the scale 1 to 10. He'd be like, you know what? Chisora hurts, but Dilly White hurts even more. So you could just
yeah,
like you could give them like a breakdown. And I think Joseph Parker is a good asset to have if you're in the Fury camp. I'm not gonna lie. You fought the same people in terms of Chisora. You fought Parker. Oh, sorry, you fought Dillian. It's a
yeah.
good
He's a good asset, 100%.
it's a good asset as well. Um, Lastly, before we go, I just wanted to jump on this one last thing. Yo, what's my man doing? My man. Whilst AJ, hold on. Whilst AJ is doing all of this, like what's it called? All of this stuff, yeah. Whilst Tyson Fury is doing all of this Dossa stuff, yeah. Whilst Dilly White is being silent, my man is kicking ball.
Yeah. Do you
Yo,
know what I heard? Someone said that the fact that Yusuf can't speak English very well is a great asset to him, and it probably is because he doesn't get all the rubbish. He gets the smallest detail of what they're really saying without all the BS. It's a great asset to him, innit? Do you know what I mean? But
I
yeah,
don't think it makes a difference. Look
yeah,
at
no, it
Vladimir
doesn't.
Klitschko. Look at Vladimir Klitschko. You know what all of this madness and stuff in, bro? He couldn't care less, bro. He had Shannon Briggs on his case, yeah.
Bro, don't even bring up Shannon Griggs. I was watching some of the videos the other day,
Yo,
bro. Yo, champ, I eat what you eat. I eat what
bro,
you eat.
slaps the pit out of his hand. Get out of here. Listen, he had Shannon Briggs, Tyson Fury, David Hay, bruv, Chisora. You know how much mad people that is, to just be
Yeah,
like having a bonus with. Have you seen him? Calm, relaxed, chilled, yeah. Not a lot of like mad stuff. Look at Vitaly Klitschko as well, man. Like these man, like do you know what it is? It's an Eastern European thing, yeah.
yeah,
They don't care, man. They just here to. Do you know what it is? They're in a very similar scenario as how it was like back in the day, yeah. They'll sit there, chill, have a cup of tea with you, laugh, say, you know what? Let's have a bit of a dance, go out, punch each other's heads in, yeah. Turn around, say, you know what, guys, what you guys want to eat after this? Like the mentality in these guys are completely different in the UK. In the
yeah,
UK and in the US, like people have to be almost angry to fight. Look at the women boxers, bruv. They're not pissed off with each other. Well, no,
nah, I
because
don't know.
some of them are, but I don't think Katie Taylor's pissed off with Serrano.
Nah, definitely not. She's just, yeah, it's just, yeah, a fight. Do you know what I mean? And they're gonna go in there and do
Ex-
bits.
exactly, bruv. I'm telling you, they will sit with each other on the day of the fight and have a meal with each other like it's just calm, yeah, and say, you know what, best of luck, yeah, thank you very much, yeah, and get in the ring and punch each other's heads in, bruv. It's that kind of mentality. It means that you treat it as a sport and not
Yeah,
let it affect you emotionally. Because if you're always in that zone, look at Mike Tyson now. He can't get out of it. Yeah,
yeah,
Yeah.
he's always like bunning zoots. He's always trying to get over that. Like it's a very simple. You've got to be like cold, emotionless when it comes to sport in general, man. If you let
yeah.
your emotions get involved, it could overtake you, man.
Do you know what I hate? I think it's the journalists in this country because I bet if you read like their newspapers, I bet they talk about the fighter, the
True.
fight. That's it. Do you know what I mean? They're not involved in their personal life. No, none of that. The journalism in this country is just mad.
It's a journalism. But I agree. Actually, you know what? It is. I don't know what Ukrainian journalists do. To be fair, and you know what? I can imagine in some of these other countries, if you don't talk crap about your top level guy, like you just be seen
Finished.
on the you'll be seen on the missing
Yeah,
people's list afterwards.
yeah, that's
But at
it.
this,
Yeah,
but at the same time, I just think a lot of these countries they don't have like how do I say it? Big superstars. So whatever they have, they cherish it. I've noticed it. Like, let's just say in my country, like in my home country, Somalia. Yeah, do you know how much Mo Farah is cherished? I don't think any
oh yeah,
media out there is just gonna cuss him left, right, center. They're really not gonna do that. Yeah,
yeah,
but it's something like so. In terms of in the UK, because there's so much going on, because we've got so much people who are doing great things in the world, trashing on people is just easy because you can just replace them with somebody else. Try
yeah.
replacing Alexander Usyk with another top level Ukrainian heavyweight. Is there
It's
another
not
top
gonna happen.
Ukrainian heavyweight? So
Yeah,
they embrace you because that's like you're just throughout their whole lives they probably never had okay maybe the Klitschko's but they never had a plethora of top level guys in any sport
yeah,
let alone in boxing. In any sport, like I could tell you, I could probably give you a handful of. Like, look at Andrei Shevchenko, bro. Listen, footballer Andrei Shevchenko, yeah, bruv, great footballer. No one in their country will talk bad about him. I'm telling
nah,
you
they
that for
won't.
free.
Yeah,
I remember I was previewing the Pula versus Joshua fight, yeah, bruv. No Bulgarians that I even encountered with had anything bad to say about Pulev. And this was shortly after he done the whole like mad stuff with the reporter. Yeah,
oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
no one had anything bad to say about him. That's how
yeah,
mad it was. Like nobody. If you did it in the UK, you get tortured. But it's a different mentality out there. So
yeah.
I'm here for it. But bruv, when all of these heavyweights are bickering, My man's playing football. He's doing up. He's doing shadow boxing in the snow. He's salsa dancing in the restaurants, bruv. Listen, Usyk might be one of my new favorite heavyweights. I'm here for it, man. I'm
Yeah.
here for it, man. I'm here for
Do
it.
you know
Yeah,
what I said this though? I like Usyk, and if he hadn't beat AJ, I'd probably, if he wasn't fighting AJ, I'd be all for it. But it's just obviously AJ's our boy, fam. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
yeah, but Usyk is a good character. Do you know what I mean? He is.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely,
Yeah,
definitely. And you know what? He plays football as well. So like maybe him, AJ. You know, it'd be good for him, AJ, Fury, a couple of these guys who play football to have like a 5-a-side tournament. Like that would be sick.
yeah,
That would be sick. But uh, hopefully we get some great news in the next couple of weeks. This week we had a Mano Serrano versus Katie Taylor fight announced. I'm gassed about that fight. We had the Diddy White whole saga pretty much almost done. We just have a couple of signatures to sign, but it should be all good. But I'm excited, man. I'm excited, man. Osborne,
yeah.
thank you very much for that.
Cheers, bro.
Hopefully,
Thank you very for
Issue
having me,
Video
man.
wins. Much
Yeah,
love, man. Much
yeah.
love,
Much
man.
love.
And then we're gonna be
Support the
going
thing
live
anyway.
as well. 100%, man. See you in a bit, man. Peace.
See you in a bit. Take care. Yeah.
Take care, my boy. Boom. Big up Osborne, guys. Show him some lot of love in the comments. Bruv, talk less than you're the guy. Listen, I'm going to clip that up, man. Listen. We're going to clip that up. The heavyweights who are doing 50 rounds were on steads. Fair enough. No, were they? Was Tommy Hearns, Marvin Hagler, Bernard Hopkins? Not all of them can't be. No way. Frank Warren would have AJ fighting. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I bet Usyk is better than Maguire out of football, bruv. You might be right. Maguire is dead fit, man. Usyk, I beg you, come, man. Big up Man United. Well, not big up Man United. I'm not really fully against Man United, to be fair. I like them here and there. Yeah, it's true. Drogba and Eto'o can't be trashed by anyone in Africa. Agreed. Yeah. Big up Osborne. Listen, guys, this has been a great episode of the Fight Talk Show. Listen, the internet is back. Listen, I'm pumped here. Listen, internet is A1 today. Yeah. Much love to all of you guys who have tuned in, subscribed, share this with a couple of your friends, guys. You know, if you guys share it on the social medias, that would help out a hell of a lot, man. But actually, wait, how do I get rid of this? Oh, bear with me. Big up. I'm gonna big up everyone as well. Osborne, legend. Chuck Lesnar, legend. Bobby Wright, bruv. Bobby Wright is the listen. Bobby Wright, big him up as well. Bruce Kai, sly tendencies. Much love to you guys. Who else we've got? Untraceable Don. Listen, you guys have provided a lot of support as well, guys. So I'm very appreciative. And yeah, we're going to include the helpline for like suicide helpline in light of the Teofimo Lopez post throughout the week. I'm going to put it in the comment section or description box below. Okay, guys. So if any of you guys are struggling, hit them or even hit me up directly across my social media platforms. Links are in the description box below. Anyway, guys, listen, this has been another episode of the Pirate Talk Show. Peace, love, and prosperity, guys. I'm going to catch you guys in a bit. Peace.